What's up, everybody? Welcome to Moose Milk Podcast, episode 55. 55. I'll be your host, Ryan. I'm just going to wait for Matt to join us. But I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody had a nice week. It's freezing cold here in Windsor, Ontario. Not great. That's why I got the hoodie on. It's a cold one. Here's Matthew.
There he is. Here. What's up, buddy?
You cold over there or what?
Yeah, dude, I'm freezing. -10 and plus wind chill. It's probably like -20 out. It's not nice.
Damn, son.
Not liking it. I'm sick of winter already. It's only fucking January, so,
Well, I sympathize, but I mean, it's way colder for you than it is for us, that was for us. But yeah. We had our share of shit weather this past winter and for like last whole year.
Yeah, well, I mean, we had no snow at all, so that's...
Yeah, I know. You guys haven't had anything.
I mean, it snowed a little bit here tonight for like half an hour, and then it's just stopped.
Yeah. Well, at least you guys didn't get like what Toronto got, because Toronto got...
Yeah, I mean, Toronto got fucking dumped on, and...
Yeah.
We, all our fucking trucks and everything at work are still getting delayed because they're trying to catch up.
Oh, yeah, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, because you guys pull from Toronto or from Milton, right?
Milton, yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. Yeah, well, that was us too, right? Getting stuff to our interior stores when we had all those floods in BC. Fuck, man.
Yeah.
That fucking fucked everybody.
Yeah, I mean, it just makes everything that much worse, right? It's just like, oh, it's freaking out, work's fucking annoying. I hate everything. I just want to move to a private island.
Make sure there's no snow.
Oh, trust me, there will be no snow.
That was honestly a humongous part of my consideration to moving to Vancouver.
Yeah. And then
it's in Canada and there's no snow. Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. All right, man. That sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. I mean... That's the problem is if I move to a deserted island somewhere like warm year round, what am I going to do? I have no life skills. I can't build a hut. I can't fish. I can't hunt. I don't want to do any of that.
You're going to start a new revolutionary podcast style where basically you just get followed by a drone camera.
Yeah.
And it just documents your life while you live on this island and do nothing.
Yeah, it'll be like 12 days long podcast, and then I'll be dead, and you'll just see a carcass laying on the ground.
And then it just forever streams because you've set it up so it just continuously just debits your credit card.
Perfect. I hope you all enjoy watching my dead carcass decompose.
Welcome to Ryan Dead in a Tropical Paradise somewhere.
Day 75.
We're on day 4, and it's not looking good.
It's not looking great. He still has no fire. Yeah. I hate seafood too, so like what the fuck am I gonna eat? You know?
If you had nothing to eat, you'd eat seafood. Trust me.
Sure, if I'm starving to death, then obviously, but I mean it wouldn't be my first choice, obviously.
Me neither. Yeah, me neither. Not a seafood guy.
No. But anyway, how are you? Enough of me dying in a carcass land or island.
Weird conversation piece. Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm just what did I do? I've just been kind of hanging out. I had a pretty busy week at work, so didn't get to watch as much shit as I usually do.
Yeah.
Usually this is like a slow time of year for me, and this year is not that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not busy at my work, but it's just there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I don't know.
That's our industry.
Yeah.
That grocery life.
That's why I took a vacation in February, because I said, fuck it. I'm not working anymore. I don't like it.
Lovely. I am coming home. There's a very good chance I'll be coming home for Easter weekend.
That would be delightful.
April. Fuck yeah.
Because I'll just tell my boss, oh, I'm dead. I can't go into work. And then I'll spend time with you.
Just watch the podcast.
Yeah.
You're going to see pretty quick. It's not looking good. I'm probably not coming in on Monday.
Yeah. This island life isn't for me. No, I didn't watch nearly as much as I did last week. I mean, watched Amazing Race, watched Book of Boba Fett, obviously. We'll get into that.
Book of Boba Fett.
The new season of Ozark dropped today, so watched the first 3 episodes of that. But other than that, not a whole lot.
Yeah.
Ozark. And Peacemaker. I watched Peacemaker as well.
Yes, right. How was Ozark? Ozark is one of those things that like I wish Kate would watch with me because like I feel like I would like it, but I also can't. I just have a hard time putting time aside to like actually stop and like watch something. You know what I mean? Like there's just always too much going on. It's just like every time I stop, it's like it'll take me like 2 hours to watch an hour's worth of shit. Because I'm like,
yeah, I mean, me and you are very opposite in that way, right? Where you're always multitasking and watching things, and
I'm never doing one thing. Generally, I'm usually doing 2 things at once.
Yeah,
there's select times like this. When we do this, I kind of have to stay with it.
Yeah,
like when I'm customizing and shit. Like I mean, although most of my attention is there, like I can be watching something or listening to a podcast or whatever, right? So
yeah. No, I don't know. I'm very much focused on one thing at a time. Generally, I mean, sometimes I'll play a video game and I'll have like depending on the game. If it's not super story focused, I'll like have a podcast on in the background or something like that. But generally, I'm very one thing at a time. So Ozark's great, but yeah, it's a time commitment. I mean, they're only like 10 episode seasons. I think the first 4 seasons, but or 3 seasons, and then this season is split in 2 because it's the last season, so they're doing 7 and 7. But yeah, I don't know. It's a really good show. I mean, you didn't really like Breaking Bad all that much, though, did you?
I never like got into it. Like I couldn't. Because my kind, I just like if I can't get into it in the first couple episodes, I'm usually like, it's just
and that's fair. I mean, I was hooked from episode 1 on Breaking Bad, and Ozark has remnants of Breaking Bad. It's very kind of similar storyline, but it goes different. But it's like normal people getting into dealing drugs and shit like that. Yeah.
So so like Kate and I watched an episode of Ozark. And afterwards, I think we only watched the first episode, and I was like, "Let's go round 2." And she was like, "Yeah, I don't think this is going to be good for me." And I was like, fuck," because I really thought that was pretty good.
Oh, it's so good, man! It only gets better. I think the first season might be the weakest season out of the 4. But
we finished watching. So I think last week I said that we watched that British show. It's like a crime drama called Happy Valley.
Right.
So we watched season 2 this week, the whole thing, and it was fucking good, man. It's pretty fucking like I have to have subtitles on because like I have a hard time with the accents.
I always have subtitles on. I love subtitles.
Yeah, me too. It makes a huge difference. You can catch a lot of shit you might miss if you don't.
Totally.
So,
like I have a hard time watching things going up like to other people's houses or anything like that because they never have subtitles on, and I'm like, can we turn subtitles on? They're like, really? Like that's so annoying, and I'm like, oh, I love it.
Kate doesn't.
Like you're stuck. Like I miss so much.
Well, the thing is like I can actually stay committed to the story when the subtitles are on because it's like when I just am missing every few words, it's super hard to stay engaged.
Well, especially with accents, right?
Yeah, but then when I have to read, it's like it's making me engaged because I have to read.
Yeah,
so
totally.
It's like I end up being able to enjoy the actual story, and I don't get hung up on like the fact that I'm not understanding shit, right? So
totally the same page.
Yeah. So it's it was really good. It was like super good. But now she wants to show me all her British like crime shows and stuff. So, but we're gonna, like I said, I'm like if they're this good, like I'll try it out, right? But tonight we watched 2 episodes of What We Do in the Shadows, the TV show. It's not that I don't think it's funny because I'm laughing. It kind of feels like a less funny version of the movie, which is like hard.
It starts that way, but it definitely it drifts in different direction, right? Like they wanted to replicate the movie in a way, but I mean it's Americanized, but it starts drifting in different variations. Like they definitely set up the characters to be different after you get to know them. But I mean, yes, it's the same in premise, but I don't know, like I know what you're saying, but I don't know. I find it so funny. It's very dry. And very,
Don't get me wrong. There's lots of parts where I was just like, this is so silly. But yeah, there were also lots of parts where I was just like, yeah, no, it's okay. So
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna still give it a little bit more of a chance. So
There's one episode in season 2, which is like one of my favorite episodes of any television show ever. Like, it's just fucking brilliant, and I hope you get that far because you're gonna die.
what? How many episodes in a season? I didn't look at that.
I want to say 10.
Okay, that's reasonable.
It's not overly long. They're 20-minute episodes, I think.
Okay, yeah, yeah, something like that. 25 minutes maybe.
Yeah, I can't remember.
So it was okay. And then what else did I watch?
Yeah, anybody that's not paying attention, What We Do in the Shadows just came on Disney Plus, at least in Canada. So if you're interested, I know I talked about it a lot recently, but
he got me on it. He was like, it's on Disney Plus, because he also knows my rule that if it's not accessible, I probably won't watch it.
Yeah.
So as he said that, I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch it. We just finished this, so.
Yeah, 22 to 30-minute episodes. I don't know how long season 1 is, but I think it's 10 episodes. Yeah, 10 episodes, 10 episodes. Season 3 is not on there yet, but it's also 10 episodes. So
nice. That's the one that just wrapped up, right?
Season 3. I just finished like a few months ago, so I don't know if it's going to go instantly like
probably not.
On there or what, but yeah.
And then I also watched a few stand-up comedy specials in the middle of the week just to, because I used to watch them all the time. And then like I did my live stream the other night and threw a couple on in the background. So I listened to Inside by Bo Burnham, which I was laughing at. And then I did Paper Tiger by Bill Burr.
Nice.
Guys,
that's a good stand-up.
That guy's like fucking crazy, dude. That guy says some fucking shit, man. Like I don't always agree with the shit he's saying, but goddamn, he's so funny. He's just He's it's just his delivery and the way he says things and stuff. It makes you laugh, even if it's kind of like shocking or whatever. But I'm not the type of person to get offended by something somebody's saying. So like, I might not agree with them. To me, that's the part that's offensive is what makes it funny to me. But it's just
I agree. But I'm saying like, if I don't agree with something somebody's saying, I'm not like offended by it. Where I'm like, oh, he shouldn't be able to say that. I'm just like, whatever. I don't care. It's funny.
My rule with comedy is that everything's on the table.
Yeah, totally. Because that's why it's comedy.
It's like, it's not about what can you make funny and what you can't make funny. It's just like you can make people see things in different ways if you can make them laugh. Totally. You know what I mean? And it's like, if you can like get to somebody through laughter, like, I don't know. I feel like just like the power of laughter is like, it sounds super, super corny, but honestly, like, it's just like, it's such a huge thing, right?
Well, I think that's just, it makes us human. Everybody can laugh at something, right? Like, it's one thing everybody shares. So if you can make somebody laugh, then like, I think that room just gets lighter. It's the same as going to see a comedy movie in theaters, right? Like,
so good.
Watching a comedy movie alone and then watching a comedy in a group setting where everybody's laughing and having a good time, it just makes it that much funnier.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
Yeah. But no, I love stand-up. I haven't watched much stand-up lately, but
me neither. It was the first couple I did. I did that, and I did, and then I put on Tom Segura too. Ball Hug. It's pretty
nice.
Funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, hopefully once things start opening up again, we get a bunch of new specials. But
I have tickets to see Bill Burr in June. Hopefully, he still comes.
That'd be great. I mean, I have had Rage Against the Machine tickets for 2 years now, and they just delayed it again. So they didn't even give us a new date.
I've had Eliza Shue, whatever her name is, that feminist stand-up comedian on Netflix. She's pretty funny, but Kate really likes her. We've had tickets that have been delayed like 4 times.
Yeah, this is the 3rd or 4th time it's been delayed, and
it was supposed to be October, and then now she just had a baby, so now everything's pushed off.
Yeah, they didn't even give us a new date. There's like this show has now been delayed. I'm like, okay, well,
I've always got I always get a new date, but it's always like a year away.
Yeah, well, that and like, I mean, we always said like it will be shocking if Rage finishes this entire tour because notoriously like they just don't get really along with Zach and so on and so forth. And now that's been delayed 2 years. I'm like, who knows? Maybe they hate each other again. Maybe they're working on a new album. Like, who the hell knows what they're doing? Like, I have a zero faith that I'm ever going to get to see this show, but like, I don't want to get a ticket refund because we'll never get tickets again. So if it actually happens, I'll be mad if I don't get to go.
I'd say it's worth hanging on to. And
Yeah, but I think they were like $200 tickets. So
yeah, but I mean, in worst case scenario, at least you'll have that back if they don't.
yeah. I mean, it's annoying. It's been 2 years of them delaying the show. I'm like, whatever. At this point, just make it like July 2027, and that's safe.
It's a nice little subtopic we could talk about. Like, there's this company Mafex that makes action figures, and they're like they're my favorite. But sure. They like solicit them, and you can pre-order them like a year in advance, and then they end up being like they're notoriously late every time. So it's like you wait a year to when it's supposed to come out, and then you end up waiting like 6 to 8 to even a year. Like Mandalorian from Star Wars, he came out. He was a year delayed, so I pre-ordered him 2 years prior to when I got him.
That's crazy.
And I was just like, and my biggest frustration is it's like they backtrack like a month, but instead of backtrack, like it's like you're going to be late, so it's like why don't you just like backtrack like 6 months, so that way every month you don't get my hopes up, and then I get the email that says, oh, it's delayed till next month now, and it's like I have a Captain America from Endgame, and it's like the like balls to the wall version. Like it's got everything from from Endgame you could do anything with. He's got the hammer, and he's got like 10 different sets of hands and whatever, and all these different faces, and I pre-ordered it like same thing, like almost 2 years ago. It was supposed to come out last March, and now it's delayed to February, and I'm just like, by the time I actually get this thing, like I'm not excited for it anymore. I'm more angry than anything else. And it's like, and don't get me wrong, like they almost always deliver, but it's like I've had some where like, Mando, like I didn't think Mando was like when I got it, I was like, this was not worth the wait.
Yeah, I mean, you see it with movies and games too. Like, I mean, look at fucking Morbius. I mean, it's been delayed for like 3 years. It's delayed 7 times. Like, at some point, stop putting a date on something. Like, just say, like, we'll give you a date when we know when it's coming out, because you're just getting people's hopes up and then letting them. I mean, maybe not with Morbius, because I don't think anybody's excited for Morbius. But like, I hate that kind of thing too. And like, we were talking last week a little bit and about how Disney could like buy Hasbro or whatever. Right. And like this week, I don't know if you've seen, but Microsoft bought Activision for almost $70 billion.
That's insane.
And it's the same thing with them, right? It's like they can buy anything they want. They can make anything they want. So why doesn't somebody just buy this toy company and say like, hey, we're going to give you the budget so that you can actually make the thing you're going to make and get it out on time, so that you're not pissing off all your customers every single time you launch a new toy. I don't get it.
I know. Me neither.
Or why don't they just say, hey, we're taking funding in to make this toy. If you want to pre-order it. When we know it's ready, we'll give you a date.
Yeah. It's super frustrating. And it's funny because I think you probably saw that brown suit Wolverine that I posted that I got. So that is a Mafex figure. That's that company. And it's like nice. I ended up like skipping on it when it came out, when it pre-ordered, because when it came up, I was at the point where I was so pissed with the company that I was like, I don't want to give them any more money. Like seriously, because exactly. I know that they're never going to ship on time. I always pay for them up front.
Yeah.
So the issue for that is like now I'm waiting, but it's like at least when it ships, I don't have to pay for it because they're expensive. They're like $120 a pop. So.
Right, but that's what I mean, right? It's like the only way these companies will ever understand is if you speak with your wallet. But if you like their toys, then how do you speak with your wallet?
Yeah, I can't. They're seriously some of the best figures like in my collection. So it's like I get it, but it's just like I wish they would just not, because to me, like it's less about the wait for 2 years and more about that you get me excited every month for 2 years, only to let me down at the end of the month and give me another month delay. It's pretty annoying.
This dog is driving me insane.
Check out what I got today.
Oh, yeah, I've seen you post those. Those are sweet, man.
Cool, eh?
Yeah. You could make a total, like, really awesome wall of those whole things.
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm slowly. He doesn't charge that much, so I'm gonna. I have a Snake Man, I have a Guts Man, and I have a Proto Man. I'm going to do a bunch of Mega Man villains.
You need Rush.
I'll do Rush eventually. I like the bad guys way better than I like Mega Man. Sucks.
Oh, yeah.
Anytime they've ever
The bad
made
guys are the best part of Mega Man.
Yeah. Every time they ever start a Mega Man toy line, it's like they'll make 3 Mega Mans and then it fails and then we never get bad guys. I think only one company has made a bad guy. One company made Cutman, and that was it.
That's a bummer because, all the like if you made even just the first 6 games, all the villains, there's like what? Like
there's 8 per game. Except the first one.
Is 6. Yeah. So like I don't know, 46.
Basic math. I am not good at it.
Whatever. Like almost 50 toys right off the bat. Right there. You could do a whole line right there. Boom, done.
If I ever buy a 3D printer, like if I ever get into that side of it and I can print those kind of things with ease, I am going to make a line of Mega Man bad guys because it would be super easy. There's none of them that are like really design-wise difficult.
Right.
If you could just get that basic Mega Man body, you could just swap out a new head and a couple printed parts and like you could do a whole army of them super fucking quick.
How much is a 3D printer?
They're not expensive. That's not the issue.
I didn't know. Like, are they like $1,000? I have no idea.
Yeah, they're very reasonable. I think you can get like a good 3D printer for probably about $600, and that might even be like it may not even be that. It may not even be that much. It's gone down drastically over the last 5 years.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, I wouldn't know how to even do any of that stuff, but it looks cool. It's awesome.
Yeah, I've seen my friends, like some of my friends dabble in it, and I see that they, some of them like excel quicker at it than others, obviously. But
sure, of course.
But like that's what they use in the industry. So anybody who's serious about trying to get into the toy industry, like they don't do it traditionally anymore. It doesn't make sense. Like,
right.
I have a friend.
If you got really good at it, it'd probably speed up your process too, right?
Yeah. Like I have a friend who like. He was he's our age and like, or my age, I guess. And like, he's a traditional sculptor and he started to get an opportunity to work with one of our, like the bigger toy companies. And like, they would accept the hand sculpted one. But what would happen is they'd be like, okay, we need this 20% bigger. So now he has to like start again. And so he's like, it doesn't make any sense. He's like, I could spend 2 to 3 weeks like resculpting a piece, or if it was digital I could just press one button and then it does it and it's done.
So
that
makes a lot of sense. And then you get your exact specifications of what you want to do, and and
then you can get like crazy into it. Like you could get like a scanner. So I have a friend who bought a scanner, so like I could scan this figure, put it into the 3D thing, and then add shit to it and then print the things I added, and it would fit perfectly when I took it off the printer. Or maybe not perfectly, but like close enough that you could work with it.
That's really cool.
Fucking nuts, man.
Yeah, you should do it, man.
And I also got this week too, today.
Yeah, that's really cool too.
It's a pizza monster from the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. You got so much Ninja Turtle shit now. It's
I know. I was just saying to my friends, I think it's the shelf of mine that's grown the most in 2021.
Yeah, for sure.
Because like right now they are right there.
Yeah,
that's the whole shelf is Ninja Turtles, and my next switch is going to be a shelf and a half. So
it's crazy, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we still can't get a new Ninja Turtles movie. I don't understand it.
It's going to be there soon. What up, D? Hostile CC's here. Yeah. So yeah, I love the Ninja Turtles toys. They're so fucking fun. They're the best.
I wish they'd bring back that animated series too, like the original.
That'd be cool. I would love to. I mean, the thing is like
Disney Plus.
That'd be great. I'd be down with that for sure. Well, I think we're gonna get something. I don't know if it's gonna be live action or what, but I think Seth Rogen is doing a Ninja Turtles thing with. I think Kevin Eastman's involved too. So that's one of the creators. So
that'd be interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess we're getting everything now, so I shouldn't be surprised that's coming at some point.
Totally.
Yeah.
True.
Anyway, Book of Boba Fett.
Book of Boba Fett.
What'd you think?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't dislike it. I just thought
I
it
didn't dislike
was.
it either.
You what?
It
Sorry?
wasn't perfect. I didn't dislike it either, but it wasn't perfect or it wasn't great.
You know, there was things I liked about it, but again, I felt like we spent way too much time in flashbacks again. It's like, and like, again, I get it. I get what they're trying to do. I'm just not really sure if it's landing with me. And there's a lot of stuff in this that like, yeah. So D just made a comment. Is Boba still getting his butt kicked? Honestly, this series has made him such a pussy. Like, I hate to say it, but it's just like,
well, not just that, but like, he's not doing anything you would expect him to do. Like, he's not using his jetpack, really. He's not, like, assassinating people or, like, doing anything of value. Like, even in this episode, he basically, like, he was just like, I don't know how to break into Jabba's palace. And, like, Fennec Shan did all the work. And it's like, she's the one that sent the orb in to, like, see how many dudes are in there. Like, she was the one kicking ass outside the ship while he's sitting inside the ship, like, getting it ready to take off. And I'm like, dude, like, he's not doing anything. Like, he's getting all these hired guns in, like, later in the story, he's like, oh, we need to make an army. And I'm like, you're fucking supposed to be a bounty hunter. What the hell are you doing? Like, you haven't done anything.
Like, I get not wanting to be, I get wanting to drop the bounty hunter bit. Like, obviously, because the thing is like, the one thing I feel like they've done a good job with is, like, kind of set, like, this theme of, like, maybe not redemption, but, like, like progress, like, wanting to move ahead with the character, which, like, I get, but also it's like, you're a crime lord. Like, you're a crime lord overseeing a criminal, like, like a heavy criminal activity territory. And, like, you're a softie. Like, we spent more time in this series with Boba Fett, like, oh, little Bantha, run off and make Bantha babies. What? Like what? Like, we spend more time with that kind of shit with him and his Rancor and all that stuff than we have seeing him be a, like, total serious badass, right? And it's like, yeah, like, I get the idea that they're going for, but it's really not landing for me. I shouldn't say as a whole, because honestly, like, there are tons of things about this that I really like. Yeah. But like this episode in particular, there was, like, 3 or 4 times where, like, either him being, like, a wimp, like, kind of took me out of the show, or, like, again, elements, like, remember we talked about the biker gang last week and, like, how they kind of took us out of the episode. So it's like that whole thing. I mean, you should talk first, because then I'll get right into this part. There's a few
Hostile in the chat says, imagine that's the twist. He actually sucks and he took credit for other people's kills. And it very well could be that. Like, that could be a twist where he never actually killed anybody. He just took his dad's armor and, like, pieced out, and everybody thought he was a badass or whatever. Like, I agree with you. Like, I think it's a kind of a mess of a show. I really don't understand. I love Star Wars, and, like, I loved being back in the universe after, like, a year of getting basically nothing. And I was really high on the first episode. And there's elements I love of seeing, like, things are bringing back, but it does really start feeling like it's just a member berries series, where it's just like, how many elements from the original trilogy can we bring back and say, hey, remember this? Remember the Rancor? Remember the Sarlacc? Remember, the barge that Jabba was on? Remember, whatever,
the Transoceans and the Hammerheads and Max Rebo and the band
Max Rebo, like, yeah, like, all that stuff. It's just like, it's just constantly pointing it out, and I'm like, okay, but move the story forward at some point. We're 4 episodes into the series, and we've gotten maybe 15 minutes of new footage, like, moving the story forward. It's all flashbacks, and it's like, the flashbacks could have been done in the first episode sequentially. In one 1 hour episode, you could have gave us that whole story of, like, how we got to that point. And then second episode, you're moving the story forward. Instead, it's like, here's 5 minutes of new footage, and now he's going back in his
35 minutes of flashbacks.
Right. Back in his tank, and here's 35 minutes of flashbacks. And it's like, I don't understand why they chose to tell the story this way in this order. I don't know. It's just not hitting the way I hoped it would. And unless these last 3 episodes are, like, really badass, where he's, flying around and sniping people and, using a lot of his, like, techie stuff, I just don't understand what they were trying to achieve out of this.
Me neither. It's funny because it's like that first scene where he brings Fennec to like get the droid parts.
Yeah.
It's like, he rolls up and he sees all these people all modded out, and I'm like, this is what I'm talking about when it comes to like modded out humans. Because I'm like,
yeah,
this
but why
is cool. This part's cool.
Why is it going so cyberpunk? Like,
see, but to me, that group there looked way better. Like they looked not so flashy. It looked like dirty and mangy, and like it looked cool, right? Like,
well,
but don't
it
get
looked
me
cool, but
wrong.
it looked very cyberpunk. It looked straight out of a cyberpunk movie. Like, if you played the video game Cyberpunk, I only played it for a few hours because the game was a fucking mess when it came out. But like, or like Blade Runner or any of that stuff, like it's straight out of there. People are getting modded. Like they've never shown really, as far as I'm aware. I mean, maybe in the books or the animated series of like all these people with all this like tech on them and stuff. I'm like, yeah, Vader got a new hand or a new body, or like, Luke replaced his hand or whatever. But like, it was never like that where they're gotten fucking eye pieces and like all this shit. I'm like, this is, I don't know, kind of out of nowhere. It just doesn't feel like it fits in Star Wars.
See, to me, the description of what you just said fits into Star Wars perfectly. In a world where everything is possible and there's every type of alien and human, wouldn't it make sense that a group of people, of humanoid people, could enhance themselves using droid parts? Like, to me, that seems completely legit and logical. But it's just like the biker gang, I feel like doesn't really look like they fit in, because the droid parts that they use, like everything's like super shiny and crispy and like,
yeah.
Whereas the characters we see in this opening scene here are like a bit more like dingy and dirty, and like, to me, felt more Star Wars. Not the guy who actually did it with the yellow dreads. That guy felt out of place. And like that whole scene to me felt out of place with the techno music and stuff. I was like, that was another moment where it took me out. I'm like, already, I'm already. Yeah. I like the idea, but that whole scene, it was like the minute long scene with her, like, again, like it took me right out of what I was watching, and I was just like, I don't know.
It would be interesting if they would have set it up as like the Jawas or something like that. They're picking up all these droid pieces and broken down ships out in the desert so that they can do these, like, selling them to these people so they can mod out people. It looked like old tech being reused, but it didn't look like that to me. It looked very like shiny and new, and like, yeah, the place where they're doing it kind of looked like a tattoo parlor or something along those lines. But
yeah, I assume that's what they were going for.
Yeah, but like the mood didn't really set right. Like it was too like neon, and like it's got this like, I don't know, like dubstep almost like music going on or something. I'm just like, this doesn't fit the universe at all. Like
the music is what took me away. So
yeah, I don't know. I love the idea of like, this is how, like, I mean, obviously Vader got all his fucking limbs chopped off and shit, and fucking, they rebuilt him and gave him an oxygen tank and all that stuff, but it just didn't fit the show for me. It was just like, this is weird. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. It was, like I said, there were some cool scenes and stuff, but I thought like there was too much this week that seemed weird and seemed like out of character from the character we had just seen for the last 3 episodes, even. Like, you know, like it's even when when they get into when they get into Jabba's palace and they get into the kitchen there, and that rat catcher droid comes up or whatever, and he picks it up and he's just like, what does he say? He's like, do
you know who I am?
Do you know who I am? It's like,
I'm Boba Fett.
Dude, you're fucking talking to a fucking rat cleaning droid. Like you look like a fucking loser, dude.
It's not even just that. Like, it felt too Disney in that, and it felt like an animated Disney movie, like Ratatouille or like Beauty and the Beast or something in there, where it's like, he's got like a chopping board and he's going crazy and he's got the boiling pot coming over and everything. I'm
that part I actually didn't mind, because I was like, that's super General Grievous style, like with the...
Right. And that's what I think they were going for, was General Grievous with his arms all rotating. He's got 4 arms and everything like that. But then, I mean, he just walks up behind him, slits his throat. That's the end of the fight. I'm like, how awesome would it have been if we got a really cool fight in there with this thing? Like, I don't know. I know it's just a chef bot or whatever, but like, again, it just feels like missed opportunities of making making a bounty hunter look like an actual legitimate threat. Like they've never given him any reason to. He got his ass beat in almost every episode so far.
Yeah,
like
that's what I mean. I mean, it seems like, yeah, it seems like they're going backwards.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the little rat droid. I was like, oh, he's cute. Like
Dee said it's like the Little Mermaid with Sebastian running from the chef.
Exactly what I had in my head. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, like the little droid was cute and everything, but again, yeah, threatening a droid. Why would this droid have any idea who you are? Yeah, his job in life has been living in a palace where he's trying to kill rats.
And like he would know that. He would know that.
Right. Exactly. You know? Like
yeah, it's just weird. He just seems so like not the character that he's supposed to be, I guess. I mean, again, I guess they're trying to change the I don't know. I don't know what they're trying to get out of this, honestly.
Like this whole series has set up Fennec as the actual threat, the actual badass in the show. And he's just the dude that's like, I'm going to run this town. Well, you've done nothing so far. You're not being a villain in any way because you're like not killing people or whatever, but you're running a crime syndicate. But then when people actually need you to do like scummy shit, like the dude that's selling water overpriced or whatever, you're the good guy. It's like, who are you? What are you trying to achieve? Why do you, like the last episode too, when the Hutts are there, they're like, oh, we don't even care about this fucking sandy rock anyway. And I'm like, okay, then what is Boba here for? What does he want out of this?
It was low hanging fruit. He could just go in and
guess,
take out.
But like, so you just want to retire to this like sandy desert and just chill and hopefully be rich to do nothing? Like, what is his end goal?
Because even when he gets to enjoy it, remember that time when they're sitting at the table with all that food and he's like, fuck this food, I don't fucking want to just sit here and do nothing. It's like, okay, but you don't, when you go out, you don't do anything either.
Right.
You just fucking
do it. He's like a 90-year-old man that's like filthy rich, and he's like, it's like Mr. Burns almost. Like, it's like, oh, I got this whole dinner, this whole mansion, this whole table of food, and like, I'm miserable still. It's not good enough. Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what his end goal is. If he had some kind of journey he was going on, or he was like, oh, I need to, make money so I can rebuy my ship, or make money so I can rebuy my armor, and then I'm gonna get back out there and hunt down X because he betrayed me in the past or whatever. If that was a storyline, I'd be like, okay, it kind of makes sense that he wants to build up power and wealth so that he can get back out there and get revenge. But they've just not shown any of that.
Well, it's weird because it seems like all of the Disney shows so far are like, this episode is this mission. Go and see this person. You'll get this. And then you get there and you do that. And we're like, oh my God, we have to go see this person. And the next episode is that. Now we're going to see. And then this one is like, we're 4 episodes in. And like, we have a semi-vague idea of like what's going on.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like,
there's only 3 episodes left. We're done more than half the series. Isn't it 7 or is it not?
I say that I feel like the flashbacks have to be done, but it's like I felt like that after the last episode, and then I'm like, we spent 30 minutes on fucking flashbacks this week.
Yep. I'm if they're not done, I'm gonna flip out.
Like, it's just hard because, like you said earlier, it's like it's so hard to enjoy the story because it feels like it doesn't go anywhere. It's like.
How many? 7 episodes. Yeah, so 3 more episodes, and we've got 0 story basically so far. We know that he's on the planet and he's chilling, and he wants to be the crime lord. That's basically it. And he's got a bunch of other crime lords in the area that he's trying to team up with, but none of them trust him. And now I assume he's got Chrysanthemum and Fennec on his team.
To be honest with you, Fennec and Chrysanthemum are the 2 things that are like making me like this show.
Well, even like Chrysanthemum, like I like that whole fight in the
Me too, it was so great.
But like again, like I don't know what it was supposed to achieve. Like we didn't know why he wanted to, or like, maybe I missed it. Why he wanted to?
You didn't have to. What it achieved was that
he's a badass. But like, why did he want to beat up these lizard people? What did they do to him?
Oh, in this one. Oh, yeah. Well, that's you don't know the history. So in Star Wars lore, the Trandoshans enslaved the Wookiees and made them fight.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So he like obviously has some unresolved some unresolved anger there, which
that makes more sense. But like, I don't know. Are we supposed to like him? Are we supposed to fear him? Is he a hero? Is he a villain? I know he's just like a bounty hunter, but like, why is Boba Fett hiring him if he's supposed to be this good guy? I don't know. I just feel
I
like
don't think he's supposed to be a good guy. I think that kind of shows that he's like, I don't need you to pay for my fucking drinks. I'm going to take this motherfucker out.
Yeah, I guess, but
I don't know. I think
I don't know. I just feel like it's a missed opportunity, the whole show so far.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm still enjoying it in piece. Like, there's pieces of it that I like, and there's things that, and don't get me wrong, like, I like that I get to hear what happened to Boba Fett. I think that the story they're adding to his characters is really good.
It is.
I just, it's the way it's presented is like, I'm struck. You know, it was a lot at the beginning, but I was like, okay, this is just these flashbacks are gonna just get shorter and shorter as we kind of move along. They have to. But It's like, and now we're halfway through, and like, you know, again, like with the flashbacks, and I just, it makes it super hard to really get into because I'm just repeating myself, but you know, we're 4 episodes in, and we don't even really know anything that's currently happening.
Yeah, it reminds me of like kind of what they were trying to do, like with Lost. That's a huge Lost fan. Like every episode, I mean, there was like 20 different characters on the show, right? Or 15 or whatever main characters, but every episode would focus on the backstory of one of the characters. So it'd be like, this is a Kate episode, this is a Sawyer episode, so on and so forth throughout the cast. And you'd get like little snippets of stuff that happened in their past and how they ended up on the island. So for like the first 3 seasons, it would tell you a story that was spread out through the episode in like 5-minute scenes, basically, of like, here's 10 minutes on the island, here's a 5-minute scene of Kate before she got to the island and what she was doing and so on and so forth. And it feels like they kind of were trying to do that as like, oh, here's what's happening in the present day, and here's a flashback of how we got to this point. But it's so uneven. It's like 90% flashback, 10% present day, even less sometimes. And it's just not well. Whoever directed it or whoever wrote the story for it needed to figure out a better way to present this series. And like I said, it should have been, the first episode should have been all flashback. Here's an hour of flashback, or here's an hour and a half of flashback, whatever it is. You can make the episodes as long as they want. And get that out of the way, and then here is the story we're trying to tell of where Boba Fett is now. And we just have not gotten that at all. And yeah, there is elements I love. I love seeing a Rancor again. I love seeing him in the ship, fucking in the Sarlacc pit, the Sarlacc's fucking tentacles coming out and all that shit. I'm like, it's cool. It does give me, the feelings of nostalgia from when I was a kid and going like, that thing's crazy, that thing's creepy, whatever. But it's just not moving the needle in any real way for me at this point. Like, I'm just kind of disappointed. I wish it was doing more.
Easy to read name says the show would have been better if the story was linear rather than flipping between time all the time. Yeah, we agree, definitely. So at first I didn't find the first couple episodes I was like, okay, I get it, but as we moved along, I was like, all right, let's wrap this up. Let's get moving here.
Yeah, it's very fetch questy, and it's very like, hey, go here to do this. Okay, now you need to go here to do this. Okay, now you need to go here to. And it's just like, all right, but we're not getting any story. It's just going around in circles at this point. And I don't know. I hope it leads to something.
We are getting good scenery at least, because I will say that scene where we get, it's not the slave one anymore. The fire shooter ship or whatever the fuck.
I can't remember what it's called.
Not good. Like, I get wanting to switch from slave one. Sure, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a bit much, but
Fire Spray 31.
Yeah. So like, whatever that is, but I'm not really a fan of that. But
that's a bad name.
It's a bad name. Yeah. Should have called it the Phoenix Slayer. Anyway, that whole scene with that and
that's better.
I know it is. Anything is better.
You could have honestly called it Bubbly and had it sponsored on the side of the ship, and it's better than fucking whatever I called it. Fire Spray. Fire Spray is a terrible name.
It's not good. It's really bad. So, but that scene where he goes to the Sarlacc pit was pretty cool, although confusing, because I'm like, dude, you got out of the Sarlacc pit with your armor on, and then it got taken off. We all saw that shit in the fucking 40 minutes of flashbacks that we've been watching, remember?
I thought that too. I didn't go back and rewatch it, but I was like, didn't he leave with his armor on? And then I was like, oh, he must have
left
like
his
left
armor
it on
on,
the
and then
like.
the Jawas knocked him out with their guns. They like.
Yeah, so maybe he just doesn't remember that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like,
I'm sure getting out of the Sarlacc probably took everything to get out. So
sure. But like, yeah. So what? The next episode is going to be him hunting down the Jawas that stole his armor.
Are we going to spend the whole episode on a flashback figuring out how he found out about the Jawas? Because he's got to figure out it was the Jawas first.
Right. So now the next episode, he's hunting down information about where his armor could be, and they go, "Hey, whatever name you want to give to a Jawa, yeah, his ship, he's got all kinds of armor on it." So then he has to hunt down their little fucking cruiser, and then he gets in there, and then we're going to get a 20-minute scene of him trying to break into this thing and shooting Jawas in the head and whatever, and then there's going to be a droid on it, and there's going to be a fight, and, boom, and then he's got his armor back, and then he's like, yeah, but you don't know how this armor was made. So then episode 6 is all about how the armor actually got made. It's a flashback to the armor originally being made, which flashes back to his father making the armor, which flashes back to how his father had a kid.
There's no way we're getting through this without getting a flashback of him as a kid. They've been doing so much of that, like little bits here and there. We're for sure getting that. Maybe not a big one, but there's no way that we're not going to spend just a little bit of time with Boba and his father. There's no way.
Yeah, I would be shocked if that didn't end the series, or like him having come peace to that whole thing, or I don't know.
Like even that rumor of him meeting Han, it's like in this, like kind of to finish it off or whatever, like I can't imagine why that would need to happen. Like I feel like it's just even further watering down this character, and yeah, I mean, to me, I don't really care because, like, I mean, I was never a Boba fan. Like, I guess I saw the appeal, but I was just like, I don't know, he's fine. I always thought Vader was way cool.
I remember a kid at school saying, like, his favorite character was Boba Fett. And I was always so confused by that. And I was like, I must have missed something in these original movies. Like, why? How could this character be somebody's favorite? But then when I rewatched it, I was like, okay, he has badass armor, but he's in the movie for 4 minutes.
But he plays a pivotal part. Like, it's funny because it's easy to write it off because he's not in it for long. But I mean, he's the one who basically puts Han into carbonite. I mean, I know it's at Vader's kind of demand, but like it's his doing that he gets them there, right? So
yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, I would be shocked if this doesn't have some kind of Vader cameo too, or something along those lines of like why he was working for Vader. Like, I would be surprised if that's not mentioned at all. I also think like they have to tie this into the Mandalorian somehow by the end of the series. So like,
well, didn't you hear his music at the end? Did you notice that?
I didn't notice it. No.
So the Mandalorian music played when she's like, remember when at the end she's like, we got lots of money.
I did. Yeah.
And then afterwards it was like, woo.
So then to me, yeah, you're right. I did hear that, and I just didn't even pick up on it. You'd have to think that then, okay, they go to recruit the Mandalorian. He goes, Grogu's been taken. I need your help to go get Grogu. And then they have that whole thing is what kind of ends this series or something along the lines of, or it's like, okay, I'll help you get Grogu, but first you have to help me with taking over this fucking crime syndicate. So they do have a whole thing like that, and then that sets up Mandalorian season 3 of whatever they got to do.
Yeah, there's no way that we're not seeing Din in this. Like, it's definitely going to happen. Whether it's next one or at the end, it's definitely going to happen.
Well, going by the trend of Disney, I assume it's going to be the last episode, but I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it'll be next episode, and that'd be cool. But
the thing is if Harrison Ford is actually expected to show up, if that actually it does pan out, that is going to have to absolutely cap the series off. There's no way. Like, you can't put that in episode 6 and then finish at something different. Like, that's going to be the talk, right? It's just like Luke. If you put Luke in Mandalorian, like episode 5, and then like you go another 3 episodes or issues or whatever. And
what? Do we think Han's going to show up to kill Boba Fett?
I don't. the thing is like I can't comprehend why we would need to see the two of them together at that time. Like, you know, Han
Well, that's what I'm
thinks
saying. Like, what other possible reason would it be that Harrison Ford or Han Solo, whatever, is like back and he's like, the one person that fucked me over in my life that like I didn't get his comeuppance is Boba Fett, and I'm gonna fucking go over there and murder him or shoot him
you
or
guys will
whatever.
probably go and realize that he's like lived through all this shit, and then they'll be like, we should be friends. It's like, yeah, because that's how it would have really went down.
But also, I mean, Harrison Ford's fucking like 75.
Yeah.
Can we stop putting in things?
Yeah, we're
the
good
guy's
on
crashed his plane like 5 times. Like, I don't understand. He's clearly not in great shape if he's fucking crashing every plane he owns. I don't get it.
Like don't get me wrong, because I love that kind of stuff generally, but it's just like, yeah, the show's not really painting Boba to me in like he's not really holding up to what everybody who I've ever heard before be like, man, Boba's so sick. Like because I've never been a Boba fan, like this isn't really like helping. It's not like it's making it like super watered down, right? It's just
so easy to read names said he'll be back just so people can at the end be like, oh, that show was awesome because Harrison Ford showed up at the end. And it's like, I kind of feel like that is kind of the intent. Is as much as I loved Mandalorian, like it did feel like the Luke thing was like very not needed in any real way.
I agree. It would have, even if that didn't happen, it would have ended awesome. Like it would have been great.
Yeah.
But
like,
that's,
I feel like
that's the difference though, is like you can put Luke in there and like it makes sense because at that timing, in that timeline, Luke's alive and rebuilding the Jedi at that time. So it makes perfect sense for him to take on someone like Grogu.
100%.
You know, whereas
especially
like Han, like it just doesn't really, I don't know. Like it feels so forced. That's all.
It does. But maybe
imagine they make up their friends and they're like standing on like this nice mountain with this serene view or whatever, and then they make up, and then when they turn around, Han like flicks his jetpack and he like flies off the thing and like blows up.
It'd be cool. I mean, I think almost 100% if Han shows up that we're getting a Chewbacca and Chrysanthemum flight.
That'd be great. They've fought in the comics lots, so well, not lots, but I think they have a couple times.
I don't know how they would.
Easy to read name says Han appears by crashing his helicopter into Boba's palace.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's not my favorite series. I think it's fine. I love seeing Star Wars. I love the nostalgia. I just wish it was doing more and moving the story forward more, and it's not. And maybe the last 3 episodes will totally change our minds, and we'll be like, those last 3 episodes were badass, and you know they wasted some time in the beginning, but it finished well, and I hope that's the case. But as of right now, like I'd give the series like 6.5 or 7. It's fine. It's good.
Yeah, that's probably where I'm landing too. And
it's not,
like I said,
it's not the worst thing.
Yeah, I like a lot of the things they're doing here. It's just there's a few things that just seem weird to me. Then it's enough to like throw me off. It's enough to be like, isn't this supposed to be the book of Boba Fett? Isn't this supposed to be showing me, the non-Boba Fett fan, why all the Boba Fett hardcores are like, this guy is the fucking king? And I'm like watching him get his ass thrown around in fucking little tighty whities and fucking his cyberpunk band, or like stabbing Black Chewbacca with these little laser knives. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no. But like, I think that's why Rogue One was so good too, right? Is like the end of Rogue One when Vader shows up and you're finally seeing Vader just wreck fucking house on that shit.
It's like, scene is one of my favorite scenes of all Star Wars.
Totally. I totally feel the same way. I didn't know that was coming. I didn't expect it. And like when that started, I was like, holy shit! Like we're finally getting this badass Vader scene. And like if you watch the original trilogy, Vader doesn't do shit in 90% of that. Like really, he has a couple okay lightsaber fights with Luke, but like it's not really like a lightsaber fight like we got in the prequels where it's like, oh, this is like fucking ninjas flipping around and doing crazy shit. Like it's like old men fucking doing this. like, and then you see Vader actually using like the Force and fucking choking out people and all that shit in Rogue One. It's like, oh shit, like this is awesome. If Boba Fett doesn't get that by the end of this series, like I don't know what they were thinking. Why would you even do this show then?
I agree.
You should have made a Boba Fett movie for 2 hours that showed how he ended up in the Mandalorian and the time before, like, between 6 and Mandalorian or whatever.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with that. So we'll see. I'm sure it'll be fine. And you know, I've said this so many times, both about the MCU and about Star Wars. Like, I love big universes. I love cinematic universes, particularly when they take the time to make it make sense. You know what I mean? And it's like, I do feel that both Star Wars and Marvel, for the most part, take the time to make it work. You know, given the circumstances. So like, I'll always appreciate any content we get in that universe. It doesn't all have to be 10 out of 10 for me, but it's just like, yeah, I feel like there's just they're leaving a lot of good opportunities on the table. So unless this pans out to be something so unpredictably cool, like I'm not sure. Like I just don't. Yeah.
I totally agree with you. And Easy Renames again in the chat says, do you think we could have gotten a Boba Fett movie made by the writer and director of Logan? And that would have been awesome. Like, I really think this could have been, like, I know it's kind of weird, but maybe not even a Star Wars movie, but like a Disney Plus Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Of like, here is a 2-hour Boba Fett movie. It's not going to theaters. It's exclusive to Disney Plus. And yeah, it's just like a 2-hour movie of like what happened after episode 6. And like, it could have been way badass of him, you know, fucking being a badass. But I don't know. I don't know. It does feel a little too family friendly at times. It does feel very aimed at children a lot. And I don't know. Nothing about it so far is like blowing me out of the water. I do like I said, I like the nostalgia of it, but it's just.
I think they do fan service well, but it's just like it's like what happened earlier. Like when we stood back and like really like listed off what was all there. It's like, man, there's more fan service in this than there is any progression in story. Like it's just.
It's exactly it's exactly episode 7 what South Park said about episode 7. It's just remember this, remember that, remember this, remember that. I loved episode 7, but yes, that whole movie was just a remake of A New Hope. So
episode 7 was great because I was just wanting new Star Wars and it hit that nostalgia button so well. But then like episode 8, I was like, I feel like this was written by somebody who doesn't even watch Star Wars. I feel like a lot of the characters are doing things I would never expect them to be doing. Like, it just seems kind of weird. And then episode 9 was just a fucking disaster. And and that's it. Like, there's elements of prequel trilogy that I really like, but there's also
elements of every movie where I go,
get that out of here.
Every movie that, even if the movies I hate, there's elements of them where I'm like, that looks cool, that shot well, that, you know, this scene's okay. But then like overall, yeah, I hate episode 8 and 9. Like I think they're terrible movies, but there's like scenes in them where I'm like, that shot really cool, that looks cool. I enjoyed that. Like
episode 8, the scene where Rey and Kylo fight all the guards. No, that's seriously such an awesome scene. It's so fucking good.
It's an awesome scene. It still doesn't make much sense in the context of the movie, but like the scene itself, standalone, I'm like, oh, this is shot really cool, and I like seeing these characters bounce around and do some cool shit. Yep. But yeah, no, I agree with you. They're bad movies, but we also should touch on before we end this. Did you watch the Moon Knight trailer?
Oh, we didn't talk about Moon Knight. Yes, I did. It looks very good.
I can't wait for that show, man. That show looks fucking dope.
That's gonna be a fun one.
Yeah, for people that didn't know, they launched a Moon Knight trailer on Monday during Monday Night Football. It's available on YouTube and everything now. It's coming out March 30th. We got like, I don't know, about a 2-minute trailer or minute and a half trailer in it. Yeah, it looks awesome. I
like that he kept his accent.
I don't know much about Moon Knight at all, like as a character. But I read up a little bit this week just because I was like, oh, that trailer was really good. I want to know more. And like, man, it sounds super compelling. Like, it looks really good.
I feel like you'll like it. That character's pretty rich with history. He's got a lot of cool storylines. There's a lot of cool things they could do with him. So
Yeah, that trailer just was awesome. I'm kind of bummed it's only 6 episodes, but maybe that way we won't get much filler and it'll be like the perfect length. And that will bring us right into Doctor Strange in May, I believe, if I did the math right.
Mom. And then hopefully into Obi-Wan.
Yeah, well, that's my kind of my assumption at this point is, Boba Fett ending, Moon Knight starting, Doctor Strange comes out, then we get another Star Wars thing, then we get what's this? Thor: Love and Thunder in I think July I think it's July, and then maybe we get another Star Wars or another Marvel show in between that and whenever I think Black Panther is supposed to come out in November, but I have a feeling that movie's getting delayed.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah, I mean they just shut down production again as of I think yesterday.
Oh really?
They had a complete COVID outbreak, I guess, on set, so they're just shut down for another week or two. So I don't know. I can't see that movie coming out this year. I have a feeling it's going to get delayed to like February.
Isn't there rumors that Loretta Wright doesn't want to do it anymore?
I don't know.
I think that I heard that.
From what I've read just briefly, like not in depth, is that movie has been an absolute nightmare to shoot.
Yeah. Easy to Read just says Black Panther 2 is a cursed production.
Yeah, like
it's hard because ultimately, no matter what you put out, nothing's going to overshadow Chadwick Boseman. So it's like, regardless of what happens with that, it's set to be a disappointment at the very least.
Look, I hated Black Panther 1. So
I thought it was great. I think there's things I
can't see this movie being worse than that movie. I mean, maybe I'll be wrong, and if it is, then like, goddamn, that's a bad movie. But I thought the first one was absolutely garbage. I like Black Panther as a character, and I loved him in like Avengers: Infinity War and like all that kind of stuff. Like, I think he's a cool character, but like, I thought the movie was a mess. I hope this one's great, but yeah, it's got a lot of fucking weight on its shoulders to replace Chadwick.
Yeah.
In any like story wise, like obviously he's not being replaced acting wise, but to make it work in the story sense and yeah, I don't know. It's gotten shut down I think 3 separate times now. I have a feeling it's going to be kind of a mess of a movie, but who knows?
Easy to read name says I agree with Chadwick Boseman's brother that they should recast Black Panther instead of never using him again. What I think is going to happen is I think we're going to get a different person playing Black Panther in Multiverse of Madness, and then eventually when this whole multiverse thing caves in on itself, all of a sudden we're going to have Black Panther back, and it'll be whoever's playing him in that. That's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah.
Which he just now said as well.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong. I don't think it's going to be a replacement. I just think it's good. They're going to do it in a way that's, kind to Chadwick Boseman and his legacy. And also,
I just mean it's going to be. It's still going to be T'Challa, is what I'm saying. Like it's going to.
Yeah.
The character is going to still be T'Challa. It'll just be a different person playing him.
I still think it would be way better just to bring back Michael B. Jordan somehow through the multiverse.
That'd be great. I'd love Michael B. Jordan to be. But then again, after watching What If, I'm like, that sneaky motherfucker. Can't trust him.
Yeah. No. He was kind of an asshole and not great at being a hero, so yeah.
Not great at being a hero, so yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I don't know. I'm very excited for Moon Knight, and yeah, that trailer just definitely... I did not expect that to be the first Disney Plus show we got for Marvel this year.
I really like the costume. It looks really cool.
I thought it looked cool too, but apparently people were like, "Oh, it kind of looks weird," and I don't know. I loved it.
I love that they leaned into the ancient Egyptian kind of stuff with the wraps around the mummy wrap kind of like. So
yeah, no, I agree. I love Egyptian shit. Like I was always really obsessed with Egypt as a kid, and
we studied it in grade 8, so it's like I got into it a lot because I thought it was really interesting. So
yeah, I think I studied in one of my grade 7 or grade 8 too, but I don't know. I just always was fascinated with the idea of like mummies and pyramids and like the weirdness of that. And so yeah, I don't know. It just sounds like a really compelling character to me. I'm really excited to see where it goes.
Me too. Plus, I love Oscar Isaac. So
yeah, Oscar Isaac's awesome.
So good.
Give me more Oscar Isaac.
One of the things I was going to talk to you about really quickly was I I read earlier today that apparently the Flash movie that's coming out is going to have a 3-issue comic book prequel that basically is going to like set the movie up, apparently.
That's bad. That has bad news written all over it.
I was just going to say that.
That means that narratively that story is not going to make sense without a comic book that nobody's going to read outside of like the hardcore 1% of fans. That's a bad idea.
Did you also hear that there's a rumor that they're going to recast, that they're going to do the same thing where they do, like they're going to replace Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill with a female Batman and a female Superwoman, and then it'll be one gal will stay as Wonder Woman? Did you
That'd be a
hear
bad
that?
idea too.
Yeah.
No, I haven't. Look, I'm all for
Me too.
inclusive, movies and casting and all that stuff, but like, stop making this more complicated than it has to be.
Agreed.
Fucking make a good universe. Make a good story.
Why would you do like, especially because like they should know the DC movie fans by now. Like they should know how hardcore those people are, and like it's like someone sat in a room knowing that and was like, "What can we do to fuck these people up?"
Yeah. Well, I just think too, like, I mean, the new Batman movie is apparently 3 hours long, which is awesome. If I love Batman, I'll watch that all day. But if it's really, really good, I don't understand why you would not keep Robert Pattinson on and tie that into this universe that you're so intent on building. Mm-hmm. I think that's a mistake. Like, I think they're putting so many ingredients into a pot, and they're like, okay, this is not part of the DCEU. This is part of the DCEU. This is separate. This is over here. And I'm like, guys, like, either make a cohesive universe or don't. That's fine.
Yep.
But figure out what you want to do and how you're going to do it and cast it appropriately. And maybe build the universe first before you start fucking recasting roles. It's way too much. I don't know, like Gal Gadot did a great job in Wonder Woman. I think she's a great Wonder Woman, but Wonder Woman 1984 was a heaping hunk of shit. It was a bad movie. So are you sure you want to keep going down that lane? Because I don't have a lot of faith that Wonder Woman 3 is going to be any better.
Yeah, I never saw the first one. I never saw any of them, so I don't know. But
watch the first one. The first one's awesome, but it's basically,
Thor.
I mean, honestly, it's basically Captain America, the first Avenger, just with Wonder Woman instead of Captain America.
Gotcha.
But I liked it. I love seeing Gal Gadot in anything because I think she's beautiful and like, yeah, she's an awesome actress. She's great. She's funny. She plays the character really well. But yeah, no, I honestly just think that whole universe is just a disaster and a mess. And like, there's a thing today that they want to make a Joker 2 now, and who the fuck was it? Some actor says he wants to be a part of that movie as a fake Joker on top of it, and I'm like, you're just making this too complicated. Like,
it's already complicated with Joker. You've had like so many different people play him,
and there's so many villains to choose from. You don't need to keep redoing Joker.
I agree.
Joker's awesome, but like, I don't understand why you put Joker 10 years from now in a fucking movie. William Dafoe. Thank you. Easy to read names. William Dafoe was like, yeah, I want to be a fake Joker in the new Joker movie where I'm not the Joker, but like I dress like him. And I'm like, no, just stop. Just stop.
I mean, he would play a good Joker. That smile.
He would.
Fucking those jibs.
And the Joker movie was awesome, but we don't need a sequel to it. It was a great standalone movie. We don't need a sequel to it. I don't know. I really think they should wait 10, 15 years, keep Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne and Batman, and really build it out.
You should maybe reserve judgment until you see it before you say that.
Sure. I totally agree with you. I shouldn't speak now. I haven't seen the movie, but let's say it's a great movie. It's like, let's build this universe out and slowly tie in Joker throughout the movies of like, he's a side character kind of fucking around, but he's not like the main villain. You have a whole cast of other villains throughout these movies. And then we get like Joker being a real threat in the movie. We get Joker killing fucking Robin and like all this shit. Like, it'd be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that the Batman looks good, and like
That looks so good.
That's coming from a non really DC guy, so. Right,
Yeah,
looks good.
I
Looks
mean,
like a good movie. Looks to me that's the kind of like gritty, kind of like put your dukes up fucking kind of thing.
yeah.
It seems like he might actually be doing a little bit of like, I don't know, detective work. So like that kind of seems potentially promising as well, because it doesn't seem like we've ever got that version of Batman before.
We haven't really. I mean, I guess a little bit in the original Batman.
A little.
But yeah, no, we've never gotten a real detective movie. They said they wanted to really focus kind of the storyline on the Riddler as like the Zodiac killer. And I'm like, that's awesome. I love the Zodiac, but like I love the story of the Zodiac. Like I find it super compelling. I love true crime. I love that it's an unsolved case. There's a lot of really interesting documentaries and podcasts about it. And to make that kind of like a detective thing of like you're kind of solving the mystery as the story goes along, and I love that kind of thing in movies. Like, so I think it would be really interesting if like they do a really dark movie like that. And yeah, I don't know. I think DC needs to stay their focus on like rated R movies, really gritty, really dark, and take that from Marvel's bag. Like Marvel's going to keep doing all this Disney stuff or all this like, family oriented more stuff. Go the dark route, keep it dark, keep it adult.
Yeah.
I think it's way more interesting.
Yeah, I do think that they're kind of more known for that too, right? So I think, DC to me is a lot like Sony. It's just like they come up with a plan and then they start planning for it, and then something in the present works and they're like, oh, fuck all that shit. Let's go crazy. Like they watch Spider-Man into like this new Spider-Man movie play off all of these characters like that we've seen before. And now it's like, DC immediately was like, we need to call in this person who played this, call in everybody who did this. We're going to bring it all in, and it's like, dude, the difference between Marvel doing this and you guys doing this is like, we've gotten to watch all of this get to this point. You're going to just take everything that you've ever had and just be like, check it out, and just like throw it at everybody with no context. I totally agree. Man. But it's dangerous.
The problem is too is these corporations like Sony or whatever, they have head CEOs running these companies or whatever that all they see is the dollar sign, right? And they go, oh, we want in on that.
Yeah.
How do we get that? And we need a universe. We need to make fans go. Fans are eating this shit up. We need that money, man. And so they got shareholders they got to speak to, and the shareholders are going, get us money. And that's how they do it. It's the same as any of these things, right? Like they were so built on making that dark universe or whatever the fuck they were going to call it with like the Mummy and fucking Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and all that shit. And I'm like, stop. Like you don't even have an idea before you're putting it on screen, and then you're going, we'll figure the rest out later. Just get it on there. Let's make money.
One day we're going to put all these monsters in one movie. It's like, that's not going to make sense. They don't even tonally fit together. Like, no.
It's just a mess. And like, I hate that. I hate people just being into it for the money. I understand, like, it's a money making business. You have to, make the money back from the movie. I get that. But come up with an idea and say, this is how we want to carry it out. But we're going to make a standalone movie first that's really, really good. And let's see how it does. And if that story is good enough and fans like it, then we can build off of it and continue on the universe. But to come out right from square one and say, hey guys, we got 10 pictures coming at you at the next 5 years and you're going to love this shit. And then everybody sees the first movie and goes, no, it's garbage.
Yeah.
And then you go, oh no, what are we going to do? Like, I just don't get that aspect of it. It's the same. It's the same with Avatar. Like, hey, we're going to make Avatar 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm like, the first one wasn't that great. I don't even want to see 2, let alone you're already looking at 3 and 4. Right. It's like, who's going to go see this movie? Who is that big of an Avatar fan that's like, fuck, man, I cannot wait for Avatar 2. I'm like, I don't know anybody. Truly.
I have a confession that I have actually never seen Avatar.
It's fine. It's a fine film.
Like it's
It's Pocahontas mixed with Ferngully. It's the exact same movie.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's not like bad. It looked really awesome in 3D. It shot beautifully. It had really cool like CG uses and 2008 or whenever the fuck it came out. But like, yeah, it's 15 years later. And do we really need an Avatar 2? I'm not hungry for it. I couldn't care less for it. I'm not going to go see it.
I'm not going to see it. I don't care. I didn't see the first one, so I definitely don't care about seeing this one. So,
like, one night, if you're looking for something to watch and you're like, hey, I've never seen this. I think it's on Disney Plus. Like, go for it. It's not terrible, but it's a movie where I'm like, I wouldn't go out of my way to watch this. I don't own it.
Yeah.
You know?
That says a lot because you own fucking a lot of movies. So
yeah, I have 1,300 movies in my spare bedroom. Like, I don't own Avatar because I'm just like, it wasn't good enough for me to spend $20 on.
Yep, that's fair. Yeah, I don't know. I just think I think, like you said, those are some red flags to see that the Flash movie is going to need a prequel comic to explain itself. It's like, oof, dude.
But like, don't you think they would have learned the lesson from Justice League? Like,
no,
Justice League was a mess of a movie.
It's funny because it's like, it just goes to show like that whole Hollywood like world and like the only thing they look at, and it's like, it's just a cash in on a quick buck on something that they can punch you in the face with nostalgia. And again, good for them when it works. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. But it's just, like Easy to Read Name says, it's crazy how the only good shared movie universe that exists are Marvel and half the Godzilla movies. So it's like, like I do like the Star Wars stuff. Again, I don't think all of it's like 10 out of 10, but I think as a universe, I quite enjoy that world. I find it pretty fun, and I like that they're building on it. Because the thing is like, you hear a lot of people say, well, the Star Wars universe is a lot bigger. Like you don't always have to show cameos all the time.
I agree with that.
Okay, fine. But then when you get to the point where when you don't see it, we have people complaining like, that's a real missed opportunity. You could have put this in there. You could have put that in there. And it's like, you said you wanted to start fresh. Like,
you were on the same page. Because we think alike in a lot of ways, but like how many times we've talked about going to see Blink-182 in concert and going, I would go see them if they didn't play any of their hits. If they played all B-sides, I'd be like, fuck yes, we're getting deep cuts this whole tour. I'd be so in, but people want those fucking singles. They want to go see Blink and they want 10 singles. And it's the same with movies. They go, hey, I want to see a lightsaber in this fucking movie. I want to see a Skywalker and I want to see Tatooine. And I'm the opposite, where I'm going, I want to see no fucking Jedi. I would love to see no Skywalkers in the next movie. And I would love to get off on another planet other than Tatooine, because everything's fucking on Tatooine.
Yeah.
Give me anything. Like, there's supposed to be infinite amount of planets. Show me a planet I've never seen before. Give me a cool story there.
I agree. I don't disagree there. Like, but that being said, like, I do love revisiting the classics. Like, to me, I'm fine with having series in Tatooine, but I mean, we can have series elsewhere too, right? So, but the thing is, where I was going with that was like, anybody who now, the hard part about now is like, Marvel's done such a good job at the way they've done it because they've taken literally the slowest approach possible. Like, it's just like, you know how we got here? We built up with like 28 movies or however many movies they're doing in 3 different shows. And it's like, for anybody else to even catch up to do it even remotely as good, like, it's going to be scrutinized just because they're trying to do that. You know what I mean? And it's like, this point, like, no one's going to be able to catch up to Disney because they did it the right way from the beginning. They did the slow burn, and like, it's completely paying off now. Like,
right, but again, that's because of the people running these companies. They're going, we want the money now. We don't have 15 years to wait. How do we get a universe now? And they're not willing to take the time and patience to build a universe. I don't know. I really think that anybody is dumb to come out and say we're building the blank universe. Come out with a great movie, and then you can build a universe around it if it succeeds and you have a great story in place. But to come out and go, we've got 9 movies coming out in the next 3 years, and you're going to love every single one of them. I'm going, that's not going to happen. You're going to miss on one of those. I guarantee you.
The thing is as soon as they outline it like that, all you can do is see through it, because it's just like, it's like, remember when DC kind of first started getting going? It's like every week we had a new project on the table. It's like, oh yeah, now we're making a Robin movie. And it's like,
well, not just that, but the Flash movie was supposed to come out like 5 years ago.
Which one, sorry?
The Flash movie was originally announced for like 2018 or some shit, and then they're like, "Oh, it's delayed. Oh, it's delayed. Oh, it's delayed. Oh, we're recasting it. We're finding a new director. Like, we don't have a story we like." Ben Affleck was supposed to do a Batman movie, then that got delayed, then that got pushed, and then he was out. Then he doesn't even want to be Batman anymore. Like, they announce these things before they have any concrete fucking thing. It's like, why did that even become public? Why did Ben Affleck say, "Yeah, I'm going to direct the next Batman movie. I got a really cool idea for it"? Don't say that. Either fucking have the contract in place and fucking film the thing and go, "Here it is. It's coming out July 5th, and here's the fucking Batman movie." But no, we're gonna fucking get you all hyped up for it, and then it's never gonna happen, or it's gonna get delayed, or it's gonna come out and it's gonna be a shitty movie. Just stop.
That says a lot
the
about
hype cycle
Marvel
is
too.
annoying.
I think it says a lot about Marvel too, because if you think about their whole history, the only thing that they've ever like really officially on the books said was coming that didn't come was Inhumans, the movie.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, things have gotten pushed and things have gotten delayed, but I think when you get into a universe of 28 movies now, 27 movies, whatever it's at, and you're hitting above 50%. I mean, I would say they're hitting about 70% of the movies are good.
I agree.
So I don't know. I think they're doing the right way. I think they're building out universes, and they go back and fix the bad movies with new footage and new shit.
I agree.
So, yeah, exactly what Easy to Read Names is saying. I can't wait for the Cyborg movie coming out in March 2018. Right. It's 3 years later or 4 years later. We don't have a Cyborg movie. They don't even, Ray Fisher is not even going to play Cyborg because of his huge blow up with WB and everything. Like, they announce these things before they have any real idea of what the fuck they're doing. And it's a problem. It's not going to work. DC's a mess. If I was DC right now, I would say, hey, we're going to continue on Wonder Woman's story with Margot, but we're not going to we're not going to do any like universe shit. Like, it's just going to be a new story of Wonder Woman. And
I don't know why they keep forcing themselves. It's like they put themselves in that box, then it doesn't work, so they say we're not going to do that anymore, and then they see that Spider-Man worked, and now they're like, okay, we're going to do it again. We're going to do shared universe. We're going to kind of start it all over again, and it's just like, man, how about you just make one good movie, like, and then maybe start thinking about that. Instead, it's just like,
I totally agree. I mean, we're hammering this into the ground, but I just,
fucking damn.
Well, I'm sick of the greed. Like, I don't know. It just bugs me, man. Like, the greediness of these corporations is really annoying. When you see a corporation spend $68 billion and it's a cash fucking deal, and then people round that up to $70 billion just out of ease of conversation, and you realize you rounded up $2 billion. That's more money than like 99.8% of people on Earth have. It just bugs me. I'm like, these corporations aren't real things anymore. They're just spending more money than any of us will ever fucking conceive of.
Yep.
Like, I don't know. I love what Disney's doing and everything like that, but it is a problem that they're buying up everything and everything's owned by one company, and it is going to be a problem in the future.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know. We're good. We're good. That was a good one.
Yeah. I agree.
Boba Fett was just this week for me.
Yep.
Hopefully
watch Peacemaker.
Be better. That's all.
Watch Peacemaker if you get some chance. It's really funny. You'll really like it.
I don't think this is going to be the week. I have a dentist. I have to go. I have like some crowns that I have to get done this week, and like because I have such bad dental anxiety, I actually have to get put out for it. So like I lose.
I'm the same way.
What's that?
I'm the same way. I am terrified of the dentist.
Yeah, I hate the dentist. So I'm actually getting. I'll be out for like pretty much all of Thursday, pretty much. So I'm kind of losing a day.
Wish I was flying over there so I could just draw mustaches on you and shit.
Just Sharpie my face up. That'd be good.
Yeah.
Magic.
All right. Well, when you get a chance, Peacemaker's good for a laugh. You'll appreciate it.
I will catch up to Peacemaker eventually. Again, I still need to watch Suicide Squad again. I've been meaning to, but I just
Like I said, time's impossible.
It has been. But yeah, I'm gonna bring it
Adulting
here so I
sucks.
can do it while I'm working. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Well, for everybody that's not following us, follow at Customs by Matthew, follow Moose Smoke Media. I appreciate all of you that are following us. Tune in Wednesdays. Matt's doing some really cool streams, building figures and everything, and giving people tips on how he does his magic shit. So,
I'm giving tips.
yeah. So always pop by Matt's streams on Wednesdays and any other time he's live. I love a good tip. Just a tip. Yeah, our art's done by at Janie Milne Art, and we're also available as an audio podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can catch these videos also on our YouTube channel. Just search Moose Milk Media. Yeah, and other than that, we thank you for watching, and we'll catch you next Friday. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. Have a good night, man.
You too. See you.
Peace.